I'm Emma, LCA Specialist at Ecochain, and I'm going to show you how you can find database references in a systematic way in Mobius. This can be super helpful because finding the right database reference for what you're trying to model can be super challenging, as there are many different options and it's not always easy to search, so it can help you a lot if you take a systematic approach to it. This video is meant for beginning users of Mobius, and I'm going to use the t-shirt demo as an example. In previous videos I already modeled this t-shirt, the cotton blue one, and we built the inventory, and we also already found a reference for the cotton, and now I need to find one for the paper packaging. So let's try this. The first thing you should always do when you're selecting a reference is filter on the right database that you want to use. I already told you, you always only want to use one version of a database in your whole model. So let's say that in this case we want to use Ecochain 3.6, then we only want Ecochain 3.6 results. That's the first step. The second thing you can then do is start typing in some search words. Let's say that in this case our paper packaging is actually cardboard. So I'm going to search for cardboard. Now I end up with 165 results, which is still a lot. So we need to narrow this down a bit in order to be able to select a reference. The third step you can take is determining whether you're looking for a production or a market reference. As I've explained before, there are two types of datasets in Ecochain. So first off, a production dataset or a market dataset. The production references are for things that you're getting directly at the producers, so they just include the production. The market references are for materials that you're, for example, getting from a distributor. The distributor is delivering it to you. You don't exactly know where the distributor is getting it from. In the market reference, there's already a little bit of transportation included to the distributor, and the reference itself is an average representation of a certain region. So if you're not sure where your material is produced, then you should select that one. Let's say that in this case, I know that I'm getting my cardboard directly at the producer. I'm going to type production. And this narrows down my results a little bit to 129, but still not a lot. Before we proceed narrowing down, we should first check whether we're searching in the right direction. So that's the step 4. So I'm just going to go through the list and see if I'm already getting kind of representative things for my situation. On the top I see the waste treatment process for plaster cardboard, and then here I have mandarin production and tree seedling production, and it might be weird maybe, but that is probably because the word cardboard is mentioned somewhere in the description of these things, so that's why they're showing up. Let's scroll down a little bit more, and then here we see corrugated board box production. And actually the cardboard I'm looking for is just a synonym of corrugated board box, because I know that this is also the word that I could use to describe my material with. This tells me that maybe I need to change my search term from cardboard to corrugated board box. So that's what I'm going to do now. And let's see what happens. This actually helps me a lot because now I only have 16 references left that are representative for what I want to look for. It's really useful to really look in whether you're searching in the right direction. This brings me to the 5th step to narrow down my results, which is filtering on location. I now know I'm searching in the right direction, so I can start filtering on location. So let's say that I know that my cardboard boxes are produced in the Netherlands. Let's type Netherlands. This actually gives me nothing because apparently there's no process for the Netherlands in the database. So I'm going to go back and have to think a little bit bigger. For example, Europe. This actually gives me 7 results that would be representative for my situation. Before I select one of these, I still have to check whether it's the right one. First off, I need to check whether it's the right process. So in this case, this is corrugated board box production. But I also need to check whether I'm taking the right product of that process. So this top one is for corrugated board box, and that's what I'm looking for. You can see immediately from this situation why this is important, because the one below is also for corrugated board box production. But actually this is the reference for residual softwood, which is apparently also coming out of that process, but that's not what I'm looking for. So I really have to check the product coming out of the process. Now I know this is the right one for me, so I'm going to select it. And then we have added some impact for our paper packaging. Just to repeat the steps that I took during this video. So first off, I filtered on the right database. Secondly, I typed in my initial search words. Then thirdly, I determined whether I was using a market or a production reference. Fourthly, I checked whether my search was going in the right direction or whether I needed to change something. And fifthly, I filtered on location. And then finally, I also made sure that I was selecting the reference with the right process and the right product. In this video, I explained to you how you can search for references in a database in a systematic way. In case you run into any problems, which is, to be fair, a little bit likely because a lot of people run into issues with this and it's always a little bit difficult, we have a lot of resources available, so please check them out. Good luck with making your own LCAs in Mobius!